What about this?
What about that? What about that? What about that? What about that? What about this? What about this? What about this?
What about that? What about this?
What about that? What about that? What about that? What about that? What about this? What about this? What about this?
What about that? What about this?
What about that? What about that? What about that? What about that? What about this? What about this? What about this?
What about that? What about this?
What about that? What about that? What about that? What about that? What about this? What about this? What about this?
What about this?
What about that? What about
What
that?
about
What about
that?
that? What about that? What about that?
And we are back. Let me make sure my microphone on, because sometimes I be coming up in here and it should be off. But peace, folks. Welcome back to another edition of the Proper Thought Series right here on the old T.P.O.T YouTube page. I'm your host, X, of course, but you knew that already. That's why your black asses are here. Tonight, another installment of What About? And you know, on What About, we get up here and we ask the question, what about this? What about that? And tonight, we're asking, what about our lost ones? What about them? Because we often get up here and we talk about, you know, how we're going to leave these behind, and leave those behind, and leave these people behind. But what I think we forget is that there are going to be people that we care about that get left behind. People that are related to us, people that we are in relationships with, our parents, our children, our cousins, our aunts, our uncles. Because guess what? The losers in Black society are related to somebody, aren't they? But we're going to get into that. But first, y'all know I always start the show off with thanking you good folks for your likes, your shares, your views, your subs, and of course, your hard-earned pennies, nickels, dimes, quarters, and 50-cent pieces. Because I know you don't have to do it. You don't have to show up to these damn streams You don't have to like these videos. You don't have to share them. And you definitely don't have to drop your hard-earned coins on this platform. But you good folks choose to do so. And for that, I'm humbled. I'm thankful. I'm honored. I'm appreciative to all you good folks. I don't take you lightly. I never have, and I never will. You got my word on that. All right. So I just want you to know, man, that I thank you. Okay. All right. Now we're gonna have a little fun tonight because I've uploaded some shit that I think is gonna have y'all laughing a little bit. I know it had me laughing when I was putting them up, but yeah. So let's get into it, right? Now, like I said earlier, we do have our lost ones, do we not? You know that some of us, we got the brother, uncle, son, and maybe even father who does nothing all day but this. Yeah, that's what he does all day. Sits down, lays around, gigantic bowl of popcorn or whatever he feels like eating. And this is what he does all day. He doesn't have a job, which means he's not contributing anything to the household, but he's there. He's living there. He's part of the group being provided for, just like the minor children, right? Then we have this guy, the guy who all day, this is what he does 9 hours, 10 hours, a whole shift. Another one, jobless, just down in mom's basement, fingering away 8, 9, 10 hours at a clip. Sleeps all day, up all night, doing this. This is his life, right? Then we have this person. Let's see. Our crackhead sister, our crackhead daughter, our crackhead cousin, our crackhead mama. This is what she does all day. Smokes crack, smokes meth, and does God knows what to get her hands on it, right? Now I know. And those of you who haven't subscribed, man, go ahead and subscribe. See that thing going around up there? See it? Go ahead and subscribe, man. Do it. Do it now. But anyway, let's get into this, right? Now, like I said at the start of the stream, we're always talking about these people that are going to be left behind, right? We're always talking about how, some of us, we just, when the boat pull off the dock, some of us are going to be still on the dock. Some of us we just need to forget about, right? But see, that's the thing, especially when it comes to us black folk, right? We are not that far from dysfunction. It's like 6 degrees of separation, right? Everybody's only separated by 6 people, so they say. But I think it's different with black folks. We probably only separated by 3 people when it comes to dysfunction. Because, like I said, as a black person, many of us have that brother in and out of the penitentiary. Many of us have that sister who's owned drugs, several baby daddies. Some of us, our mama, own drugs, several baby daddies. Some of us, our fathers, in and out of freaking prison. So that's what I think kind of bothers us when we talk about this stuff. Because when you talk about baby mamas, shoot, you talking about our sister. You're talking about our daughter, our cousin, our aunt, our old mammy. When you talk about these dudes who run, rip, shoot, kill folks in and out of jail, you're talking about our sons. You're talking about our nephews. You're talking about our uncles. You're probably talking about our old daddy too. And I think that is the problem when it comes to talking about this stuff. Now, you often hear people talk about, you know, we're just going to leave these people behind. We're going to move forward and we're going to the black folks' promised land. And that all sounds well and good. But some of those people you leave behind, guess what? Are going to be people related to you. They're going to be some of your friends, some of your closest relatives. Those people are some of the lost ones. Now, I know we like to think that, if our brother is in and out of jail, he can be redeemed. But some other guy who's in and out of jail can't. Likewise, if our old mama or our sister or our daughter is old crackhead or dope addict or a whore, we believe that she can be redeemed. Now, those other people who do that, they cannot. And I think that is the very crux, the nucleus, when you talk about people who are lost. Because make no mistake, man, there are people amongst us who you're never going to be able to help. You're not going to be able to bring them out the ghetto. You're not going to save them from poverty. You're not going to make them straighten up and fly right. That old sorry ass son of yours, that old sorry ass uncle of yours, you ain't going to never be able to get him to get a job. That old sorry ass daughter of yours, that old sorry ass niece of yours, you ain't going to never convince her to do what's right, stop having kids, quit living off the state. I mean, some of these things are not fixable. I'm a mechanic, right? A mechanical engineer, power mechanic, right? I don't know. I must have worked on thousands of pieces of equipment in my lifetime. But some of the equipment that comes through my garage is something called irreparable, meaning that it is so badly damaged, that it is so badly used, that it may be so old, so rusted, so weather beaten, so whatever, that it is irreparable. It cannot be fixed. The fix is replacing it. That's the fix, right? And unfortunately, some people are like that too. Now, I know it's hard to hear because we like to think that everybody can be saved, but not everybody, which makes no sense. But some people cannot be saved either. Both. When you talk about leaving people behind, guess what? Some of those people you leave behind are going to be people you love. Because we see it on a smaller scale, right? Somebody grows up in the hood, they grow up in the ghetto, they get themselves together, they get an education, they get a good career, they become an entrepreneur, they open their own business, they get the hell out the ghetto, right? So in a sense, they've left those people behind. They've left their mama, their brothers, their sisters, and their friends gone. Now, I'm not saying that those people that they left behind are necessarily are lost ones. But let's be honest here. Some people you have to leave behind so that you can move forward. I know it would be great to bring all these people with you and have them have the success that you had in your life, the money that you have in your life, live in the neighborhood that you live in. But the reality is this: more often than not, if you want to do something great with your life, you're probably going to have to let some people go. Because if not, you'll be tethered to these people, and these people will hold you back. That's just the truth. And I'm not just talking about to go off and do something extravagant where you make tens of millions of dollars. Of course, if you want to do that, you're probably going to have to leave them behind. But I'm talking about if you want to do some of the more common things, like have a decent career, have a family, have some investments, have some money in the bank. You may have to cut the lost ones off. And y'all may say, who are the lost ones? I'll give you an example. Have you ever been with your family, right? And y'all may be having a gathering, right? And you got this one person. She may be your niece, your nephew, your cousin, your uncle, your whoever. And they're always doing inappropriate things because, you know, they own drugs, right? Because people on drugs, what? They have a tendency to do inappropriate stuff. For instance, let's go here. See that? Now, there's nothing wrong with this, right? There's nothing wrong with somebody getting down to the sound, boogieing, right? But y'all are at Thanksgiving dinner while they're doing this. Thanksgiving dinner at grandma's house. And they're in the living room doing this. But there's no music playing. And they're doing it just like this, too. Over and over and over. Right? So you look at this person and you're like, this person is lost. Even though they're your cousin, they're your sister, they're your whoever, you're saying to yourself, this person is lost. But what should we do, though? I mean, should we run away from these folks? Should we just run away from them? Should we walk away from them? Should we, you know, leave them behind? Now I say to myself, I say yes. Yes. Because in my life, I mean, I got people in my family who own dope. I got baby mamas in my family. I got sorry ass people in my family, male and female, who, when they were 20, you knew they weren't going to amount to shit. You kind of knew it when they were like 15, but you had your fingers crossed, right? You had your fingers crossed, hoping that they would develop into something. But now you look up, they're 35, and they're not much different than they were 20 years ago. These people are lost. And we have to face this, man, that some of us are never going to amount to anything. When you drive it, man, and you're on the overpass and you come up on the highway and you see that dude standing with the sign. He wasn't always like that, right? He was once a young man in his 20s. He was once a teenager, a child, an infant. He didn't come out of nowhere, right? He didn't hatch out of a fucking egg. And neither do these ratchet ass women that you see. They weren't always like this, right? They came from somewhere. They didn't hatch. They didn't drop out of the sky. They didn't walk up out of the ocean. So when you see people who are quote unquote lost, all of these people are related to somebody, man. Like I said, some of those people are related to us. So what are we going to do with these people? What are we going to do with these people? What are we going to do with the young drug dealers? Right? What are we going to do with the brothers, the uncles, the cousins, and fathers that's in and out of jail? What are we going to do with the girl who's on crack? What are we going to do with these people? We know they're lost, right? We know they're lost. But do we think of them as not being lost because some of these people are related to us? Me, I find it strange that we as black folk, right? If we have an emotional connection to something, we somehow think it's better. We somehow think that if it's our brother in and out the penitentiary, our brother in and out prison, somehow we can redeem him. But those other people in prison are irredeemable. If it's our mama, our sister out there, strung out on drugs, she's different from the other dope heads. She don't get on her knees and suck dicks. She don't get out there and steal because, see, she's a different kind of dope head because she's related to us, which is ridiculous. Because when you riding up and down the road and you see one of them old bums on the side of the road, you're like, look at that old dirty bum. When you riding up and down the road and you see one of those old nasty dope head chicks out there, you're like, oh, look at that old nasty dope head. But guess what? That bum is somebody's son, somebody's brother, somebody's uncle, may even be somebody's father. That dope head chick that you see all the time, that make you turn your face up like you just smelled an onion. She's somebody's daughter. She's somebody's sister, somebody's aunt. She might be somebody's mama. So what makes you think that when your dopehead sister or dopehead mom is out there, that people aren't saying the same thing about her? What makes you think that when your father is out there, who's the bum, your brother, who's the bum, your son, who's the bum, what makes you think people aren't saying the same thing about him? I think we have a problem looking past our own inner circle, right? Because if you're talking about solving black folks' problems, which is what a lot of the stuff we get up here and talk about, trying to solve black folks' problems. But I think we spend too much time trying to get other people to do the solving of those problems. A lot of those problems have to be solved in the house. And when I say in-house, I don't mean in-house with the collective of black people. I'm talking about in your house. Your house. You know that son that you got? He's strung out on dope. He in and out of jail. But you still let him sleep in your damn basement. You may think you're helping him out, but no, you're not. Only thing you helping him do, you're helping him to continue do what he's doing. You're enabling him by letting him live in your house with no job, no income, no drive, no desire, no dreams. Just in and out, getting high, getting high, getting high. Thinking you're going to somehow fix him. And the same with the women. You think you're going to fix them? Especially if they're grown. It's one thing when people are children. You can't fix grown-ass people, man. The only person who can fix a grown-ass person is that person. Grown-ass adult, they got to want to change. You can talk to them all you want. You can sit them down and have discussions all you want. But if they don't want to change their life, they're not going to. And we know it. Now, I know we get up here on the internet, man, and, we sit up here and talk about how we're going to change this and change that. A lot of that shit is BS. It's BS. And we admit it, that some of us are beyond change, beyond fixing. Beyond saving. Leave them behind. Leave them there. But what if you're one of the people that people want to be left behind? What if you're one of the people who people say, you don't get to go? What if one of those people is your mama, your brother, your sister? Because they've been deemed a loser. Now what? Now what? And I don't think we think about it enough. I don't think we really think about these so-called people who you're going to leave behind. Our lost ones. Because make no mistake, man, there's a lot of people within black society who are lost, man. We see them every day. We see them. We talk to them. And a lot of them, they live right in our house. So when we talk about leaving them behind, are we talking about them too? Or no, they get to go because they related to you. And you're one of the people who are going to be moving forward. So they get to go because they're related to you. Right? I think a lot of that gets missed when we get up here and talk about this shit, man. Because, see, once we get off of this damn computer, this microphone, once we get off of here, we have to face the real world. We got real people living in our house. We interact with real people in our business. We deal with real people when we out and about. And we know good and well, some people are just lost. We know this. We talk about it all the time. We're always talking about it up here. We discuss the lost people more than we discuss anything else most of the time, whether it be males or females. We always discuss the lost ones, do we not? We critique them, right? They are the butt of our jokes. They are the people that we say, don't be like them. We go into detail about what's wrong with them. Do we not? So we're well familiar with our lost ones, right? We know who they are. They're easy to be identified. But do we really want to take the steps and leave them alone? It's good to say that. It's easy to say that when these so-called lost ones are not linked to you, right? But what if they are? What happens when that ship comes around and they say, you can go, but your damn brother who in and out of jail cannot? Would that seem fair to you? Or is it only fair when it's someone else's brother, someone else's son, someone else's father? It gets different when it gets personal, doesn't it? Because we don't want to leave these people behind, right? We love these folk. Why would we want to leave them behind? We don't even consider them lost, do we? And I guarantee you, every single thing we talk about on the internet, everything we discuss up here, I'm pretty sure most of us have somebody connected to us who fits the critique that we're making about others. Let me say that again. Most of us have somebody connected to us who fits the critique or the criteria of the people that we are describing on here. I know I do. I got people who are related to me that are in and out of jail all the time. In and out of jail, in and out of jail. Got baby mamas related to me. Dope addicts. Black sheeps. People who ain't worth 2 wooden nickels on fire. Now, maybe I'm the only black person in America who has those people related to them. Maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm the only person. That is a possibility. But it's not reality, is it? And I think the problem is we get up here and we talk solutions a lot, right? But I don't think we really want them. Because the solutions require what? Tough decisions. And it's a tough decision to not deal with your brother who on drugs in and out the penitentiary. That's a tough decision. It's a tough decision to not be bothered with your old mama because she's immature, won't grow up. She's 60, still thinks she's 30. That's a tough decision, is it not? It's a tough decision. If you're on a straight and narrow, and you got all these dudes that you know who ain't about shit, don't want to work for nothing, don't want to strive for nothing, just want to live life day by day, still selling dope and doing all kinds of bullshit. It's a tough decision to leave those people alone. Is it not? And I think that's where the problem is. I think that's what bothers us. It's easy to get up here and talk about the lost ones. But when you're talking about the lost ones, you're talking about other people's lost ones, right? Not yours. Not your son, who ain't gonna amount to shit. You ain't talking about him, right? Not your daughter, who ain't gonna amount to shit. You're not talking about her, right? You're talking about other people. Other people's people, right? Like I said, I know it's tough. It's tough. That's why we take the easy route and talk about others. We talk about other people, not the people within our circle of influence or the people who are within these four walls. And that's where it ultimately starts, right? Because how you going to get out there and lead and influence and inspire other people when you can't even fucking do it here? Good friend of mine. Her name is Sister Shahrazad Ali. Y'all may be familiar with her. She tells me all the time, she's like, a lot of us, we can't get along and do things with other black folks, X, because we can't even get along with the people inside our damn house. And she's right. A lot of us don't even have care, custody, and control over this space here. But somehow we're going to jump off YouTube and control the world somehow. It doesn't even make any sense. Doesn't make any sense. Because if you ain't even capable, man, of ruling inside of here, controlling inside of here, how you going to control outdoors? How you going to lead folks? How? I know we like to get up here, man, talk and, talk all these magical solutions and, black people going to wake up one day and rule the world. I know we like talking about that kind of shit. I know we do. But the reality is this. There's a lot of black people, man, who ain't going to never amount to shit. They're not. You can say what you want. Because just like people are saying, oh man, white people got this and Asian people got this and Latino people got this. Guess what? A lot of black people, we got it too. Dope heads, repetitive convicts, child molesters, rapists, you name it. Burglars, robbers. Guess what? As black folks, we got a lot of those within our ranks too. Now, is that most of us? Of course not. But they exist. And saying other people got them do not make them go away. Those people running around shooting folks in the head in all these urban areas, guess what? They somebody's son, ain't they? They somebody's brother, ain't they? Like I said before, they didn't hatch. They came from somewhere. Right. Where did they come from? They come from your house? Did they come from my house? They came from somebody's house, right? But we try to act like that doesn't matter. That doesn't mean anything. BS does mean something. Because some of these said the well miscreant people are people you grew up with. You went to school with. You played with as a child. I know. I know dudes that I went to school with. Dudes I knew when we were little. Some of the people I grew up with are dead. Some of the people I knew in high school are doing years and years and years. I'm in my 50s, and guess what? They've been locked up since we were in our 20s. Now, could you predict that? Could you predict that this dude would grow up to be somebody who killed somebody? Or no? Even their parents couldn't predict it, I would imagine. But unfortunately, man, some of us are lost. And we're never coming back. I could have been one of the lost. I never woke the hell up. I had to wake up. And it's not easy to wake up when you lost. It's not easy. Because what is being lost, right? You can know where you're going. You can know where you came from. But if you don't know where you are, you're lost. And I think a lot of us just don't know where we are. I think a lot of us don't understand where we are. Because I'm going to be honest with you, man. You strung out on dope. You lost. You don't know where you are. You in and out of the damn penitentiary. You lost. You don't know where you are. You somebody out here, 10, 15 baby mamas. You lost, brother. You don't know where you are. And likewise with the women. You out here, baby by this one, baby by that one, baby by this one, baby by that one. You're lost. Oh, mama, you're lost. No direction. No desire. No interest. You're lost. You're 35, still living in grandma's cellar. You're lost. No matter what you tell yourself, no matter what other people are telling you, you're lost, brother. Now people will say, oh, well, they can figure it out. Shit like that, you're supposed to have figured out before you're 35. And I know there's always that little infinitesimal modicum of hope that this 35, 40-year-old Negro will get up out of grandma's basement one day. But probably not likely. And likewise, the women who dump out a baby every damn year by some random dude. I know there's this modicum, infinitesimal glimmer of hope, but not likely. Because if you're lost, man, chances are there is no hope for you. Even if people haven't given up on you. Because usually what happens, man, is they're bringing you down, right? Like I said, I have people in my family that are lost. They're lost. I have people in my family that own drugs and in and out of prison and also kind of foolishness. How do you stop these people? Especially if you've extended your hand to them. He come out of jail, you let him stay at your house. He's there 6 months. He ain't trying to work. He ain't trying to be some type of entrepreneur. He ain't trying to get himself together. He ain't trying to do nothing. He just in and out your house. Coming in there drunk, high, eating up the food, stinking up the place. What do you do with a person like that? And likewise, the same with the women. Because there's chicks out there. I know. I've had one or two of them in my family. They need a place to live. They just can't figure it out. So you feel sorry for their black asses. So what do? You say, okay. You give them a spare room in your house. And you wait. You wait to see if they're going to do something. 30 days go by. 60 days go by. 90 days go by. 120 days go by. 150 days go by. This person's doing nothing. Sleeping all day. 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, you hear him rumbling around in your house. Doing shit in your house that you don't even want him doing. Right? Constantly burning your lights. constantly running your water, constantly using your shit, laid on your goddamn couch in the living room with your feet crossed, food on your furniture, food on your carpet. They washing more laundry in your house than your damn wife is. Consuming more food than your wife or kids is. But doing nothing. Why? Because they've been enabled to do it by you. We talk about tough love. And some of us, we need it. We need it. We don't need to be pandered to and handled gently. When they call you and talk about they need a place to stay, sometimes with some of them, the answer needs to be no. Or better yet, hell no, Negro. Now I know that seems cruel, right? They're your folks, they're your cousin, they're your relative, they're your aunt, your uncle, your whoever. Gotta look out, right? But why look out for a person if you already know you looking out for them is going to be worse than if you don't? I mean, me and my wife, we've had over the course of years. I mean, I've been with my wife, man, for 23 years. I've known her for 23 years. And 20 of those years, we've been married. And we've given countless people places to stay. Countless. I can't even keep track all the people that, they got kicked out, evicted, the brothers, sisters, cousins, you name it, have lived in our damn house. And some of them, they stayed for a little while, maybe 2 months, 3 months, got themselves together, got them a job, got them some money, and they moved on and did their thing. But many of them came to live, and guess what? They never did shit. Never tried to get themselves together. Just laid in the crib. You come in after working 12 hours and this person is laid on your couch with your remote, just a flicking away. And after you see that every day for about a week or two, you're like, wait a minute. It's like every day you come in the crib at night, they're like in the same position. And see, me, I get tired of that shit. See, my wife, she's a little different. She's a bleeding heart. Everybody deserves a chance. Everybody deserves help. Everybody can be saved. That's kind of her view. When it comes to X, absolutely not. Because once I sense that you're just manipulating this situation, it's just a matter of time before that spare room that we letting you live in, I'm on that door and I'm asking you, hey, what's the deal? What are you doing? Are you trying to work? Are you trying to go to school? Are you trying to do something? Have you been online? Have you checked out any help wanted ads? Have you? Yeah, I'm on your shit. I'm on your shit. I might let you rock for 30 days. Maybe. Because I don't know what you're doing. So I give you a month. But after I start coming in, every day I come in, you're in the same position. laying on my couch, watching my television with my fucking remote, my goddamn food every single fucking day. You're not contributing shit to this house whatsoever, but you're just here like a plant, like a vase, like a chair, like a piece of furniture. Just a matter of time before I'm like, what's good? Yeah, it's just a matter of time. And eventually, if you don't look like you're making some type of move, you're gone. Yeah, you're gone. Because I'm going to give you fair warning. I'm like, hey, look, man, you can't just be laying up in this motherfucker doing absolutely nothing. And those of you who are lost and shiftless and useless, only person you're going to get away with that is at your mama house or your grandmama house. Anywhere else you go, ain't nobody tolerating that shit. They're not. Unless you get some old woman who just desperate to have the somebody there. And I know it's not easy. It can't be easy to be one of the lost ones. It can't be easy to not have anything, to not want to strive for anything. I know that must be tough for you. When you have nothing in the tank, you own nothing, you can do nothing. I know that must be tough. One of those people who are always going to be in the need of others. People are always going to have to look out for you, take care of you, even though your ass 38. That can't be an easy situation for you. It can't be. Because when you're like that, you're just a burden, right? You're a fucking adult. You're in somebody's house. You don't have the ability to contribute, the desire to contribute, or the interest in contributing. You're just kind of there, right? And like I said, many of us know people like this, don't we? We know people like this. But what do we do about them? I don't think we can do anything about them. We can't do anything about them except face the reality that what? This is who they are. I know I have. I know I have. Because like I said, I got people that's related to me. Don't even see them till they need $200. Come to you and say stupid shit like, let me borrow one of your cars, stupid shit. And why would I trust you with one of my cars, Negro? You out of your mind? Yeah, right. You teetering on a slippery slope, giving you a ride. And usually these people who come at you, these lost ones, they've been established as a lost one from the shit they've done before. They're so mixed up, they done forgot that they done screwed you over before. They screwed you over 2 years ago, 3 years ago. Thinking you've forgotten, because you know they haven't. You done loaned them $200 and they ain't paid it back. Or they say they need a place to stay. They'll only be here 2 months. Turns into 9. You know it. You know these people. You've seen them do it. You feel sorry for them. Because they're your friend. They're your family. They own that dope. Catch them smoking this shit. In your backyard. In your basement. Knowing that you told them you don't want no drugs in your house. Knowing that you told them whatever they're going to do, they got to do it off your property. But do it anyway. Sneaking folks in your house when you ain't home. Calling you collect from the penitentiary. Talking about they need an address. No. You ain't coming here. You ain't getting paroled here, Negro. Somebody else gonna have to help you out with that. And people think you're wrong for thinking this way. Because, see, you're supposed to look out for everybody. Even the fucking losers. Yeah, look out for them too. Me, I don't believe in that anymore. I used to. I don't believe in that anymore. I'm not interested in helping anyone who isn't interested in helping themselves. You're not interested in helping yourself. I'm not interested in helping you. I shouldn't have to convince you to do better. I shouldn't have to convince you to want more out of life. I shouldn't have to convince you that the shit you're doing is wrong. No. You have to be interested in making your life better. Then I may be interested in helping you out. You can't be interested in the status quo, right? Because that's the status quo. When somebody's on dope, they're always coming to you for money and you give it to them, knowing what they're going to do with it. And you think, yeah, I'm going to look out for them, because I don't want them doing nothing crazy. Doing the dope is doing something crazy. So you're enabling them. You're enabling them. You got crazy folks inside Black society who just nuts, need mental health and mental health intervention like last week. But you pretend like that ain't real either. They're crazy, but they're not crazy as other people. They're a different kind of crazy because they're related to me. I want to show y'all something. I want to show y'all something. because we need to talk about this, man. We need to talk about this. Damn it. Because we talk about black folks being on dope, right? So let's look at something. Let's look at this here, right? Let me see. I'm about to blow this up. Yeah, right. Oh, he said with your remote and your robot. Yeah, right. Brother Coffee. You know, motherfucker got my coffee mug. Man, you do realize that that's my coffee mug that you got, right? And they be like, oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm like, no, you do realize that that's my coffee mug. Translation, put that motherfucker back. Whatever you drinking in it, pour it in something else. All right, and not use it. How about that? You know? But yeah, let's blow this up. Huh? Let's blow it up just a little. Should be easier for y'all to see. And look, they got the call us now number 888-531-5073. 888-531-5073. Recovery from addiction is possible. But we're talking about alcohol and drug abuse among African Americans. So let's just read this little synopsis here, right? Now, this is the American Addiction Center. What the hell is this popping up here? This is the American Addiction Center.org, right? So it's the white man's data. So take it with a grain of salt, y'all. Take it with a grain of salt. The U.S. Bureau of Census estimates that there are 44 people of African origin living in the country, comprising 13.4% of the total population. African Americans are overrepresented among drug abusers in the United States, but they are also more likely to seek treatment for their drug addiction. See, that's the positive spot, right? Now, it says here, drug and alcohol use in African American communities show significant differences from the rest of the population, with a number of cultural factors at play. Use and treatment tell a different story than stereotypes suggest. Right? Now, let's get down to the data they have. I mean, they are the American Addiction Center.org, so they should know a little something about addiction and dope, right? They say the rates of substance abuse among African Americans are similar to those of the general population, although there are some slight differences. Findings from the 2018 National Survey on Drug Use and Health include 6.9% of African Americans have a substance use disorder compared to a rate of 7.4% among the total population. 3.4% of African Americans have an illicit drug use disorder compared to the rate of 3% among the total population. Past month illicit drug use among African Americans, 13.7%, is more than the Caucasians, 12%, and Hispanics at 9.7%. Past month marijuana use among African Americans, 12.2%, is higher than the general population at 10.1%. African Americans report lower lifetime use of cocaine, 8.5%, compared to Caucasians, 17.6%, and Hispanics, 11.1%. Alcohol use disorders are less common among African Americans at 4.5%, then the total population 5.4%. Binge drinking among African Americans 23% is slightly less than Hispanics at 24.6%, and Caucasians at 25.7%. The rate of heavy drinking among African Americans, 4.3%, is much less than the general population, 6.1%, and Caucasian, 7.2%. Now, according to the 2016 NSDUH, 20.4%, 6 million of African Americans aged 18 and older reported using illicit drugs in the past year. This was higher than the national average, 18.2%. Now, the reason why I brought this up is because we know people around us have drug problems. A lot of them have drug problems because they have mental problems. Now, they say here it's a difference in substance abuse patterns across the Black population. Research on substance abuse among Black Americans often combines Caribbean Blacks and African Americans into a single population, which does not provide a true picture of substance abuse among these populations. A recent study determined that there are differences in the patterns of substance abuse and dependence between African American and Caribbean Blacks. Some of the findings from this analysis include rates of substance abuse are slightly higher for African Americans, 11.5%. Than for Caribbean Blacks, 9.6%. Rates of substance abuse disorders are slightly higher for African Americans, 4.9%, than for Caribbean Blacks, 4.1%. Rates of substance abuse are higher among African American women, 6.3%, than Caribbean Black women, 2.8%. First generation Caribbean Blacks are significantly less likely than African Americans to have a substance abuse disorder. Now, this is the thing. Usually, if someone's on dope, right? They a dope head. Say they're your brother, all right? He's on dope head. He's on some type of dope, right? So, him being on dope does what? Make him less likely to want to get a job. Him being on dope makes it less likely that he's going to try to get off it. Him being on dope usually means what? He don't work. So all his money goes to what? Getting high. So if he's living with you, more than likely, you are supporting him, right? You're supporting him because he doesn't work. So whatever living, if you call that living, whatever living he's doing, it's being provided for him, even though he's 35. Whatever food he's eating, he's not buying it. Whatever lights, water, gas, he's not paying for it, right? So he's being supported while you're looking out for him. And if you're 35, 40 years old and you're being supported, especially if you're a physically capable person, you're one of the lost ones. Now, some exceptions can be made if you have something wrong with you, right? Say, you have an injury. wheelchair bound, you know, that's a different set of circumstances all together, right? That's a different set of circumstances. If something's wrong with you. But sometimes what's wrong with us is literally in our heads, right? So look at this. This from mentalhealthamerica.org. And yeah, let me go ahead and put this in the chat so y'all don't think I'm making it up. I'll put the other one in the chat too so y'all can read it for yourself. You ain't gotta just listen to my ass. You can read it for yourself. There's that. That's up in there if y'all want to hit it and read it. But let's just look at this little BS graph they got here, right? They say Black and African American communities in mental health. 13.4% of the U.S. population identifies as Black or African American. Of those over 16% reported having a mental illness in the past year. But if you look at where that arrow goes, that is over 7 million people. So you're talking about 7 billion of us walking around here hearing voices. 7 million of us walking around here with some type of mental illness. And then it continues. It says more people than the population of Chicago, Houston, and Philadelphia combined. So 7 million of us walking around here with mental conditions. But none of those 7 million are related to any of us, right? There's 7 million people on an island all by themselves. We know that some of those 7 million people is our mama, our daddy, our brother, our sister, our son, our daughter, our uncle, our aunt. We know it is, don't we? 7 million people. 7 million. Some type of mental illness. So what does that mean? Now, of course, you got functioning people who are crazy, like myself. I'm crazy, but somehow I managed to run my business pretty well. It does pretty well with a crazy person running it. It actually does pretty well with a crazy person running it. So I know that there's the functional crazy folk, right? Crazy folk who can keep a job and, take care of themselves and, have a house, an apartment, a car, some money in the bank, Yeah. But what about the people who are so mentally ill that they can't do any of that? And what if they snap and just go bonkers? Batty wackles, right? Because people can go from sane to crazy. They just can't go from crazy to sane. The only thing they can be is less crazy. There is no going from crazy to sane. No, no. Once you go crazy, that's it. You can only be a little less crazy. You can't uncrack the egg. Once the egg is cracked, the yolk is out. There is no uncracking the egg, right? But what about those people? Those people who have those mental conditions? I think a lot of us don't even want to deal with them. We only want to deal with them if they're our old grandma or our old grandpa, right? They got Alzheimer's and dementia, and they weren't always like that, right? But you see those people, man. We talked about those people that you see on the side of the road. Let's be honest, some of those people are nuts. You know that guy that you see always standing at the corner at 7-Eleven? He's standing out there on the side of the road with a stick, yelling at traffic, having conversations, talking to the wind. We know who these people are. Some of these people are completely nuts. That's why they're out there. No one wants this person in their house. Would you want the person in your house who stands out there in 10-degree weather with no shoes on, a shopping cart full of empty bottles and papers and trash, with a stick in his hand yelling at traffic? Would you want to move him into your house? Of course you wouldn't. That's why he's out there. Because his brothers and sisters and aunts and uncles don't want him in their house. Just like you wouldn't want him in your house. The only difference is he's a stranger to you. He's the guy that you see every day on your way to work. Standing out there with no shoes on. Talking to the wind, like I said. You wouldn't move him into your house. You don't even think about getting him help. You walk right past him. You avoid him more than you avoid the dude who's standing out there begging for $5 every morning. You're not trying to help him. You don't walk around trying to help these crazy people who's standing on the side of the overpass, talking to themselves, laughing to themselves. You don't try to help these people. Because when you see them as the lost ones. Even though they're black, you see them as the lost ones, man. Now, I know many of us will never admit it. We'll never admit that we see these people as the lost ones. Absolutely not. Because we bliggity black. We're Ungawa, black power, right? So where's that Ungawa black power for the crazy man standing at 7-Eleven, talking to himself? He's black too, isn't he? Oh, but he's too crazy, right? He's too crazy for you to help him. Do you put him in your truck and drive him somewhere to get some help? No. You walk right by him. Just like you walk past a fire hydrant or a maple tree. You walk right by him. Why? Because you know he's a lost one. But would you walk by him if he was your brother? Would you walk by him if he was your father, your son, your uncle? Would you consider him a lost one then? That's what I'm talking about. Because I'll say again, even though he's not your brother, your son, your father, your uncle, your cousin, guess what? He's related to somebody. He didn't hatch out of a damn egg. He's related to somebody. And the reason why he's out there yelling at traffic with no shoes on is because they think he's a lost one too. Right or wrong? Right or wrong? They think he's a lost one too. If you grew up where I grew up, because I grew up in New York, right? And everybody knows that New York, when it came to dope and crack and all that shit, New York was hit hard as hell, especially my hometown. And man, that dope had people, they turned into completely different people. And some people used it so much till they literally went crazy. They became the lost ones. They became the crazy crackhead that you see walking around, who hasn't bathed in weeks, shaved in months. You see him every other day with the same clothes on. What about those people? You ever put those people in your car? You ever pick one of them up and try to give them help? You ever stop and try to convince them to go into the rehab? Have you? I know the answer. No. But if that's your sister, that's your mama, if that's your daughter, you done tried to help her, right? Because she's different. She's different than the others, according to you. Right. But guess what? When people see her, they say the same things about her that you say about someone else's sister, someone else's mama. It's no different because it's your sister or your mama. Because when other people see them, they think the same way you think. It's not different for you. Just like you see other people's lost brother, lost sister, lost mama, daddy, uncle, cousin, nephew, niece. Guess what? When people see it and those people are related to you, guess what? They're saying the same shit. Don't ever think because this person is related to you that they on some different fucking level. Because more than likely, they might be worse than the damn dope head you see out in the world. They might be worse. But because they're related to you, they're somehow different, right? That's stupid. And it's not realistic either. What's good, Brother Supreme? I see you up there, man. But I'm just saying, I think we got to get away from thinking that somehow a person being related to us somehow fucking spares them from the cruelties of life. That's not how it works, people. Because I say again, that crazy man that you see on the corner carrying a stick, yelling at traffic with no shoes on, he didn't hatch out of an egg. He had a mama. He had a pappy. And guess what? He might have had brothers and sisters, maybe kids before he lost his mind. Right? But no one wants to think of it that way. As long as we can keep these things at a distance, we think it somehow negates what we see and what we endure. I don't know why we think like that. I don't know why we could never think past our own selves, our own lives, our own images, our own anything. Especially when you're talking about mental illness. You see what the survey says. You see what this graph says. 16% of black folks, 7 million people, 7 million of us have reported having a mental illness within the past year. You trying to tell me these 7 million people ain't related to nobody? They're all in this compound, all on their own, all 7 million of them, right? No. Some of these 7 million is your damn mammy, your damn pappy, your brother, your sister, your son, your daughters. Yes. Yes. And like I said, it's easy to talk about this stuff when you're thinking it ain't connected to you. But a lot of this shit is connected to you. And that's what we need to think about. That's what we need to consider when we talk about the lost ones. And I say again, I've been asking for the past hour and 34 minutes. What do we do with them? What do we do with them? You know, like I said, we always talking about these people who going to be left behind, and we need to get away from them, and we need to get with people with like minds, and we need to go, we need to build, we need to do all this stuff. But those people that get left behind, some of those people are going to be your people, my people. Some of your mama's going to get left behind. Some of your daddy's going to be left behind. Your sons, your daughters, your sisters, your brothers. They're going to get left behind. Because guess what? Some of them are lost ones. My family, your family, other people you know family. They're part of the lost ones. Puts a new spin on it when you think about it like that, right? Doesn't seem so easy to do when you think about it like that, right? The question is, are you one of the lost ones? Am I? Who decides? Are the lost ones just the mentally ill, the dope heads, the bums, the homeless, the idiots, the criminal, the incarcerated, the losers in the hood? Or is it people like us You know, the mechanics, the plumbers, the electricians, the carpenters, the truck drivers. Because we look at them, right, and we're like, oh, man, these people are lost, man. They ain't got nothing going on in their life. They don't own a house. They don't own vehicles. They don't have no money. They're living in a tent. They walk around all day talking to themselves, eating out the garbage can. This person's lost, right? But what about the people who have way more than you and I? The millionaires and billionaires. They probably think we're the lost ones, right? No, these people are nothing. He's just a mechanic. He's just an electrician. He's just a truck driver. He's just a plumber. We may be the lost ones. They may throw us right in the bag with the bums and the crazy man at 7-Eleven, the people living in Tent City, the people living in the freaking projects, in the ghetto. They may lump us in there too, right? So who decides? Who decides who the lost ones are? Who decides who gets left behind? My answer is nobody. My answer is nobody. You know why? Because when the time comes, and I really believe this, when the time comes and everybody's running, I think those who are able to run will run. The ones who are not able, they ain't going to be able to run because they can't. They can't run. I don't think it's going to be nobody out there with a pointer. You go, you go, you go, you go. Nope. People start running. When people start moving, it's going to be self-selection. It's going to be self-selection. There ain't going to be nobody out there with a clipboard. There ain't going to be nobody out there with a clipboard. It's going to look just like this. It's going to look just like this. What's it going to look like? That's what it's going to look like. And a lot of the people who talk that leave some people behind are going to fuck around and get left behind themselves. They're going to get left behind themselves, a lot of them. For the simple fact that they're nowhere near capable as they think they are. They're not as valuable as they think they are. They're not as needed as they think they are. Just because you say you're one of something or part of something or great at something doesn't make it true. Just because you say it. Because it's easy to get up here and talk about how great you are and how much shit you know. And that's great. That's great. But what can you really do when the time comes? What can you really do? What can you really do when the time comes? What can you really do if they shut down YouTube? And shut down YouTube, a lot of you probably find the nearest bridge and jump off of it. That'll be the end of your influence. Because there's a lot of talk on YouTube of how lost everybody is. Lost because they don't agree with the shit you say. As if you're the fucking authority on who can speak. As if you get to dictate who can talk and who cannot talk. For years, I've been hearing people say the same shit. And somehow the people you say can't talk are still talking somehow. It's been 5, 6, 7 years. Because there's many of us who get up here and say, oh man, this person's lost. We can go and find 5 or 10 people out of that person's comment section to say the same shit about you or me. But then again, this is YouTube, right? Reality don't really matter here. You know, everybody got the golden mic. They all have the golden mic. And their mic is so powerful. Their golden mic is so powerful. Better than anyone else's. They are the smartest. They know more. What they say is the gospel. What you say is garbage. Right? According to them. It's BS. Because ain't nobody capable of running nobody up off of here. Ain't nobody capable of running nobody up off of here. Nobody. You ain't got that much juice. You can't run nobody off of here. You can't counter nobody's narrative either. Right now, I got 11 people in this chat room. But I'm going to counter the narrative of a motherfucker who got 1,000 people in his chat room. Yeah, that makes perfect sense. That makes perfect sense. And it's easy to say, oh, well, somebody's lost. Oh, this person's lost. That person's lost. If they're so lost, why do so many people listen to them? People get up here and they talk, oh, man, they don't talk about nothing. They should be talking about uplifting folks. They should be talking about doing this, doing that. And somebody get up here right now and start talking about that shit, It'd be 5 people in the chat room, 9 people in the chat room. So I'm not convinced that that's what people want to hear. Because the numbers I see indicate different. Nobody want to hear nothing uplifting. Now, people may want to make it appear that that's what they want to hear, but anybody that talk about uplifting, start talking about something uplifting. And look down and see how many people you have watching. It sounds good to get up there and say, oh, man, y'all need to be uplifting folk. Yeah, it sounds good. I'll tell you what you do. Go ahead and start uplifting folk and look how many people will be watching you. That's just the truth. I mean, we can all get up here and pretend like we this, like we this mighty mic master and we saying all this great shit that people should listen to, but the numbers are kind of going to dictate, man, how effective your message is resonating, whether or not people are entertained or enlightened by what you say. That's just the truth. That's just the truth. And sometimes we have to just be good with what we got, man. Just have to be good with it. Some of us ain't gonna never reach 100,000 subscribers. Some of us are never going to reach 1 million. Some of us are never going to reach 10,000. Some of us gonna have a hard time reaching 1,000. That's just the truth, man. Not everybody is great at this. Not everybody's a YouTube star. They're not. The vast majority of us are not. I damn sure ain't. I'm no YouTube star. I'm just a Negro with a mic, a laptop, a camera, and a freaking ideology. That's it. That's all I am. I'm no YouTube star. And guess what? More power to the people who are. Because I know a few people who are YouTube stars. And I support them brothers' success in their stardom. But for some reason, we seem to think that everybody can be a star on this shit. It's just not true. The numbers prove it. Now, we may be a star in our own head. Yeah. Nothing wrong with that. But the market will ultimately decide, man, how great you are. That's kind of how this thing works. It's how it works. There's no disputing that. That's how it works. Because even when it comes to this YouTube shit, some of us are lost ones. Some of us will never hit 2,000 subscribers, 8,000 subscribers, 20,000 subscribers, 100. Some of us are never going to get there, man. We're never going to get there. And we need to be good with that. Just like some of our lost ones. Some of them we never going to save, man. We ain't going to be able to help them. You think you're gonna be able to help your old crackhead sister who come to the house and be doing this shit? Hmm? You think you're gonna be able to help her? She in the middle of the goddamn park doing this shit, 3 o'clock in the morning, not one bit of music playing. You think there's help for her? Huh? That's beyond professional help. Hmm? Just not the way it works, man. But y'all go ahead and subscribe to my shit. Not the way it works, man. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You think you're gonna be able to help this dude? He's 35 and this all he wants to do. Hmm? Do you think you're gonna be able to help him? He doesn't want help. You think you can help him? He's 30. He spends all day doing this. Think you can help him? Help him do what? How you gonna help him? Take his Xbox and smash it in the street? Can't even help him like that because now you got to kill this Negro now. You done took that Xbox and smashed it? Boy, you and him gonna have a rumble now. Yeah, y'all gonna get to tussling. Shoot, you're probably more likely to help him. He might stop selling them drugs. He might stop flipping them rocks. He might. He might just quit doing it. He actually has a chance. You can stop him from doing this. It's probably not going to be you who stops him, right? We know who's going to stop him from doing it, right? You guessed it, the police. But what about her? This your mom. These mental issues. She done went crazy. You know she's never going to be sane again. Only thing you can hope for is for her to be less crazy. That's it. But what about her? What do you do? Besides take her to see somebody and hopefully they don't commit her and put her in a rubber room and a straitjacket. What do you do? You can't fix crazy. And I'm a person who has fixed thousands. I mean thousands of things in my lifetime. Thousands. I can't fix this. This I cannot fix. And neither can you. But if she's your mammy, you want to think that you can fix it though, right? Reality check. You can't fix it. You can't love crazy away, folks. Old mama's lost. You know, just like the lost ones you talk about. Old mama is right in the basket with them. Yeah. And what about her? Fix her? Stop her from doing this? What do? Every time you see her, you find her and you slap the crack pipe out of her hand. Throw her in the car, drive her to the rehab. 3 days later, they calling you saying she jumped out of a window and escaped. She done escaped the rehab. What do you do with a person that this is all they want to do? What do you do with them? Do you let them live in your house? Do you let them smoke this shit in your house? Do you give them money to go buy the shit to smoke in your house? What do? They're a lost one. And yeah, I know people will say, oh, well, they can get off of drugs and blah, blah, blah. Yeah. But guess what? They have to want to do it. This is something else you cannot love away. We don't talk about that, right? When we talk about all this saving Black America stuff, we never talk about the Black people who doing this shit that I'm showing up here tonight, do we? What about him? What do you do about him? He doing 20 years. He couldn't come if you wanted him to, unless you gonna break his ass out of there. Where he going? We never talk about these people, do we? They slip right out of our conversation as if they don't exist. And we know they do. Because a lot of us, they exist in our own family tree. They exist in our own family. Many of us, this is our father. This is our brother, our uncle. Just like many of us, this is our mama, our sister, our aunt. A lot of us, we come from this shit. But we talk about all these great, magnificent things that Black people could be doing. Do you include these people? Well, probably not if they related to somebody else. But I'm assuming you're including them when they related to you or me. I'm assuming you're including them then, right? They're not as lost. They're not as bad of a crackhead. They're not as bad as a convict. They're not as bad as a dope user. They're not as bad as a thief, robber, loser. Because they're my brother. They're my sister. They're a different kind of loser, right? There's levels to being a loser, right? You're more of a loser if you're somebody I don't know, if you're a stranger. But you're less of a loser, even though you do the same shit that other losers do. You're less of a loser because, see, you're my brother. You're my son. You're my father. You're less of a crackhead if you, my mama, my sister, my aunt. You're a different kind of crackhead. There's levels to it, right? Something to think about, man. It is. And I know we don't like to think about this. Why should we? Because none of us are related to crackheads, right? None of us are related to baby mamas, right? None of us are related to people that's in and out of jail, right? Robbers, thieves, rapists, killers, child molesters. They're not related to any of us. They're their own race, right? They come out of these mysterious mountains somewhere. They're not related to any of us. BS. It's BS. It's straight BS. And we know it. And I'm sorry. Because I'll be the first to say, if I had to make the choice, between them and me and mine, I don't give a shit if it's my brother, sister, nephew, niece, son, daughter. If they're a lost one and don't want to do anything with their life, this is what me and mine will be doing. Notice, people in this picture are running away. Not running toward. They're running away. But I done ran my mouth enough. So if anybody wants to come through for a few moments, got a little time, probably go for another 30 minutes or so. You want to come through. This is what you're going to have to do. Hit me up. It's Proper Thought at yahoo.com. It's Proper Thought, one word, no caps, at yahoo.com. And in the meantime, I guess I can hit y'all in the head with T.P.O.T's programming notes as well, Negroes. See, because tomorrow I will be talking something similar tomorrow. Something similar tomorrow, but not quite the same thing. Tomorrow, I'm going to be talking about our daughters. I know we often get up here and, you hear the talk about women and things of that nature. And one thing I know for sure, all women were once girls. All girls were once teenagers. All teenagers were once toddlers and infants. And I'm a true believer that it's hard to change grown folk. I mean, people are grown, they got to want to change themselves. But when you're talking about the little ones, man, I think they can be steered in the right direction. And I'm a true believer that we spend too much time on grown folks. I mean, I really believe that. Trying to change grown ass people. I don't believe in that. But I do believe in developing children, right? What did Frederick Douglass say, right? It's easier to raise strong children than it is to repair broken men. And I think it goes for broken men and women. You can't repair these broke ass women, man. There's no repairing them. There's no repairing them. Whatever's going on with them, they're going to have to want to change it. They're going to have to come to terms with who they are and what they are and what they need to do better. But these little ones, man, are different. And I think a lot of us as men, because I'm a father of daughters, I'm a grandfather to granddaughters. And I think as fathers, if we want to see decent women out in the world, I think we're going to have to be the ones to send them out there, as opposed to trying to change the ones that are already there. Because some will change, of course. I mean, but will it be enough to matter? But you can control what type of woman your daughter becomes. You're in her life. You have a direct hand into what type of woman that girl becomes. And it's a long haul thing, man. It ain't a sprint. It's a marathon. So that's what we're going to be talking about tomorrow, man. We're going to be talking about teaching our black daughters. Right? But I say again, if you want to come through, go ahead, hit me up on my email. I think I'll let your black ass on if I feel like it. If I feel like it. But that's the truth, though, man. You know, I mean, we can dictate what our daughters become. Like I said, man, we have a direct hand in it. You think you got a direct hand into what these old ratchet hoes out here are doing? You think you're going to be able to change some ratchet hoe from your town, from your state, from another state? You ain't going to be able to change her unless she want to change. But guess what? That little girl that you bringing up in the world, because I believe men are the answer to this. Because like I said, I mean, you know, you have a direct impact on your daughter, man. And a lot of us, we have daughters. We don't want our daughters growing up to be like the rest of these crazy hoes, do we? I don't want my granddaughters to grow up to be like these ratchet hoes that you see on social media. I don't want that for them. I don't want a daughter who come in my house and be doing this shit right here in the living room, especially when there's no music playing. She just doing this the whole time. Ain't no music playing. She talking while doing this. You just come in the living room like, what are you doing, girl? Oh, shit. It's crazy, man. But yeah, that's what we're going to be talking about tomorrow, man. You know, that's what we're going to be talking about tomorrow. You know, hopefully y'all come through. And Thursday, y'all. No, not Thursday. Friday, I'm going to be getting interviewed, folks. Yeah, I'm going to be down at old SKC's getting interviewed. I think it's going to be in the afternoon. I don't think we've hammered it out, but we did hammer out the day. So it's going to be Friday, which is a great day for me because I don't work on Fridays. All I do is sit around on my ass and drink beer and smoke cigars. So that's going to be a great day for me. And if I know Brother Supreme, he's going to ask me some questions that make me answer them, and the answers you fucking people are not going to like. The answers y'all are not going to like. Yeah, you're not going to like them. So I'm looking forward to that, man, because I know he's gonna be hitting me in the head with some tough questions, and you know, I won't have any choice but to answer them truthfully. So brother, me and brother Supreme, we talk on the phone quite often. Well, I talk on the phone with a lot of brothers quite often, and he's one of them that I talk to, and he knows what kind of dude I am. So his questions are probably going to be really targeted. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it, man. Like, you know, I'll make sure I have a couple beers in me too, man, so I can, because they say a drunk person speaks a sober mind. So I'll make sure I have a few a few Heinekens in my gut by the time I come on, so I can be totally honest. I'm just saying, yeah. So that's pretty much it, man. In a nutshell. I just want to get on here and talk about this with y'all, man, because that's what this uh what about thing is about, man. You know, it's about sharing the secrets, man. And I think we've kept this secret here just as long as we've kept other secrets. All right. We keep the fucking secret, man. All right. We keep the secret that we got a brother that's in and out of freaking prison. We keep the secret that we got a freaking uncle that's a rapist. All right. We keep the secret that we got a sister who's a crackhead and smoked crack all the way up until the time her ass was 50 and died. We keep the secrets that we got a freaking lost one for a sister who freaking she had all these kids and never took care of them. Why? Because our mama had to. We keep these secrets, man. We keep the secrets. We keep the secret that we got a son that ain't worth a shit. We keep the secret that we got a daughter that ain't worth a shit. A daddy, a mama. We keep that secret because we don't want anybody to know, right? We want people to think that we all came from either these great beginnings or these really, really tough beginnings that we had to overcome and come through, right? Nothing in between. Why, though? We know some horrible, miscreant, raggedy, despicable people out there. And some of those horrible, raggedy, despicable people are black people. Newsflash, all black folks ain't good black folks. They just ain't. And guess what? Some of those black folks are my folks and your folks. That's just the truth. That's just the truth. They're lost ones. They're not just other people's lost ones. They're our lost ones. Our lost ones. So what about them? Do you ever think about them? Do you ever make streams about them? Do you ever include them in your conversations? Do you deal with them in real life? Are you involved in their lives? If they got problems, do you try to help them? Y'all let me know. Let me know down there in the chat. I'm interested. Who knows? We may do a part 2. What about our lost ones? What about them? Pretending they don't exist. That's not an option, is it? We've done that long enough. Who knows? You may learn a little bit about yourself if you happen to acknowledge that they are our lost ones. Yeah, there are lost ones. I know it's easy to disregard them, pretend like they're not there. I know it's easy to do that. But just remember, the way you can include others in the lost ones group, guess what? Somebody's putting your lost ones in that same group. They're putting them in that same group. But what am I saying? These 7 million people with mental illness, these millions of people on drugs, all these people in jail, all these people who are robbers and killers and child molesters and rapists and murderers and robbers. They're not related to anybody, right? They're not related to any of us. They're not related to any of us, right? They're just lost ones that no one knows. Lost ones that we don't include. But we know that's BS, don't we? Don't we? But anyway, I think I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this up, man. I appreciate everybody coming out tonight, man. Make sure you're here tomorrow. We're gonna be doing another what about. Like I said, tomorrow we're gonna be asking what about teaching our black daughters. I mean, you often hear, and I've been wanting to say it myself, that our daughters, they need to be raised, reared, protected, taught. People talk about protecting females. These are the females that need to be protected. These are the females that need to be protected. Okay? And I ain't even going to get into the stats. No, I'm going to save that for tomorrow. But I say again, we talk about how within black society, how women have caused a lot of destruction in it. And I agree with that. I agree with it totally. Yes, I do. You'll never catch me saying anything different. But guess what? If we want these women to not be destructive, if we want these women to not be disrespectful, if we want these women to be decent, I think it's up to us to send decent women out there, groom decent women, and send them out there. Because I say again, you have a direct effect on what kind of girl you raise into a woman. You have direct effect on that as a man. And those of you with daughters know exactly what I'm talking about. You'll be the most influential man in this girl's life. It's going to be you. Not some Negro she meet. Some Negro she walk up on. Some Negro she meet on Facebook. No. It's going to be you. You're going to be the most influential man in these girls' lives. You want to see better women out there, man. Brothers are going to have to make them. And like I said, it's not a sprint, man. It's a marathon. You send decent women out in the world, man, you'll see decent women out there doing decent stuff. Ain't no changing these grown-ass people. They set in their damn ways. No changing them. Good luck. But yeah, we're going to get on out of here, and I will see you good folks tomorrow night. I appreciate everybody coming out tonight, man. As always, I appreciate your participation. Because like I always say, man, you could have been anywhere on a Wednesday night, man, and you decided to be here. And it is appreciated. It's appreciated, man. Yes, it is. All right. I don't take you lightly, man. I never have, and I never will. All right. So, with that, I will leave you good folk with 3 words. And also, be on the lookout for my interview with brother SKC as well on Friday. Like I said, I don't know what time. We haven't hammered that out, but it's going to be sometime on Friday. Maybe I'll have more info on it for y'all tomorrow. All right. All right. So with that, I will leave you good folk with 3 words, you know, like I always do. Open your mind. Peaceful. What about this?
What about that? What about that? What about that? What about that? What about this? What about this? What about this?
What about that? About that? What about this?
What about that? What about that? What about that? What about that? What about this? What about this? What about this?
What about that? this?
What about that? What about that? What about that? What about that? What about this? What about this? What about this?
What about that? What about this?
What about that? What about that? What about that? What about that? What about this? What about this?
What about this?
What about that? What about that? What about that? What about that? What about that?
Only from the Prophet of Thought Series Media.
You know.
Open your mind. 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 Open your mind.